Hey everyone, it's Wednesday, and today we are going to practice using our comparing words to talk about numbers. So, just like we did yesterday, I'm going to show you what's happening here on my desk in just a second. There we go. Okay, so when we compare numbers, we want to think about which ones are greater or more, or which ones are smaller or less, right? So we're going to count out 20 cards from our deck of cards, or two sets of your number cards, 1 through 10. And I'm just going to count 20. Sorry, I'm just going to take two cards. Excuse me. That's for another lesson. I'm just going to take two cards for comparison to compare numbers, right? So I'm just going to flip over two cards. We have a 4 and a 3. Now, let's say we forget that this is number 4 and this is number 3. We can count the shapes to remember which number it is, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4 tells us the number 4. 1, 2, 3 tells us the number 3. Right, so now I want to think about what I know about these numbers. What do I know about numbers 4 and 3? Well, I know that when I count, 4 comes after 3. And when I look at these pictures, there are more shapes on number 4 than there are shapes on number 3. So, when comparing these numbers, I want to say 4 is more than 3. 4 is greater than 3. I want you to repeat after me. 4 is more than 3. 4 is more than 3. Right? And now let's use it with our fancy math word for more, which is greater. 4 is greater than 3. Good. So we're going to try another couple examples together. Right? So we have one number here and we have a number here, right? So if, like I said, we forget these numbers, we can go ahead and count the shapes on the card to remember what number it is. So let's do that really fast because we should be really good at this by now. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this has to be number 9. Good. Let's count our next number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great. So now we know this is number 9 and this is number 10, and we want to compare them using our math words, right? When we count, 9 comes before 10. And when I look, I see less hearts on number 9 than I do see on number 10. There are more shapes on number 10 than there are shapes on number 9. So when I compare these two numbers, I want to use the words less than. 9 is less than 10. I want you to say it after me. 9 is less than 10. Very good. Let's practice one more together. Good. Great. So I know this is a number 2 and this is a number 8. When counting, 2 comes before 8, right? When looking at the shapes we have on our cards, we can see that number 8 has more shapes than number 2, or number 2 has less shapes than number 8, right? So we can say 2 is less than 8. I want you to try. 2 is less than 8. Good job. So now you're going to show me how to talk about these two numbers that we pull out next. Okay. So, what should I do if I don't know what this number is? I should count the shapes. Great, so I'm going to do that. Just because you told me to, I'm going to whisper count, and I want you to count out loud. How many hearts did you count? 3. I also counted 3 hearts. Great. And in the deck of cards, we're going to use our ace to mean number 1. We also know that because there is one shape on the card, right? So I want you to tell me what you know about the numbers 3 and about the numbers 1. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to tell me what you know. You sure do know a lot about these two numbers. I bet you said something like, well, 1 comes before 3, or 3 comes after 1 when we count, or there's more hearts than there are spades that we see on our cards, right? So I want you to think in your head how you would say the number sentence comparing these. And when you're ready, I want you to say it out loud. Hopefully, your number sentence sounds something like this: 3 is more than 1. Or 3 is greater than 1, right? And if you didn't make a number sentence that sounds like that, that's okay. I want you to practice them right now. So we're going to practice it one more time. 3 is greater than 1. Okay. Great. So I want you to write down all of the number comparisons that you've made. So for this example, in my notebook, I would write down 3 is more than 1. And this would be my first problem. Great. I can't wait to see what you come up with, and I will see you tomorrow.